Or what's going on, Mr. Ryan? How you doing? We are starting on the south end of the strip tonight. How's everyone doing? Robert, what's going on, buddy? Starting down behind the dirty castle, Excalibur. I don't really think it's a dirty castle. It's actually a pretty nice property. Not the best, not the most up-to-date one, but it is a decent property. It's clean. My mother-in-law has stayed there a few times recently, and my sister-in-law, and for short visits. And we got the Luxor, the towers over here, and we can see the beam, the beacon of light behind it. Murakami, welcome in. So this right here in front of us, where it says Titanic, that is a bridge that connects Excalibur and Luxor inside Walkway. I have a video that shows how to get from Excalibur to Mandalay Bay, totally inside. But tonight we are going to walk out on the strip because it is a beautiful night out. Alan, what's going on? And there's a chance of rain. I think around 9 o'clock, there's a small, but it is still a chance of rain at like 20%, I believe. So, which is really nothing out here. 20% of rain, I would say definitely not gonna rain, but who knows? I could be wrong. You get like a monsoon or something. That would be cool. I have not been caught in a monsoon out here in a while. So we're gonna walk out onto the quietest part of the strip right now. I hear you, Alan. I mean, you did all that walking with us earlier today, so. Sorry, I'm trying to look at my steps today. I don't even know if my watch was. I think my watch was still going from last night. Oh no, we got, I don't know if you can see that, 19,000 steps today. So we had a pretty good walk this afternoon. Yes, go follow us over on Facebook. We're trying to grow our presence on Facebook a little bit. And if you're enjoying our stuff, write a review over there. That does help the Facebook pages to get recommended by Facebook. So that, you know, we're just starting off over there. I think we had our page as kind of a placeholder and would post occasionally over there, but we're starting to try to be a little more active across Facebook and Instagram and here on YouTube. I think we're doing a pretty good job with our YouTube posting. I got a couple things that are ready to be posted. We're almost ready. Now, hopefully I don't make the mistakes that I was making early on in YouTube, which was I'd get a video almost ready and I'd be tired and I'd go to save it, to edit it the next day, and like I would accidentally delete it and have to start all over. So, but here we are walking on the quietest stretch of the strip, I think. I think there's more people walking between Fashion Show Mall and the Strat than there is that walk down here in front of Excalibur and the Luxor and Mandalay Bay. But yeah, Alan, I figured you were working because you were kind of quiet on the earlier stream. I was like, oh, Alan must be working. That's why we're not getting any Alan Alan comments, which I love. Me and Jay were talking about that the other night, how sometimes you and Mud can just really turn a stream. Well, that's pretty good then, right? If you're pretty busy during the day doing what you do. So we get a nice view of the strip right here. Let's see, I'll zoom a little bit. There we go. We got MGM. We're gonna have to wipe that. You can see all the way up the strip. Pretty good. A little bit of smear there on the well, that's the important part, right? Paying for Vegas. Let's zoom you back out. There we go. I gotta get rid of that glare. 1 second. Lens wipe. Let's see. Much, much better. Much, much better. Chi-Town girl, what's going on? We're doing good. How you doing? So I don't know how long this live stream is actually going to be tonight. It could be an hour. Could be 2 hours. I don't know. I dropped my son off. He went out with some of his co-workers. He doesn't have his license yet, but he's working on that actively, somewhat. And so when he needs to get out and get picked up, I kind of need to log off. So I don't know how long we'll be on. And I have no idea where we're going to be going. But there's the baseball field over there. We can't really see too much at night, but we had a really good view on our daytime live stream. If you guys want to go back to today's earlier live stream, check the replay out on that. We got a real good view from Oyo, the rooftop over there. And then we went into, and we found today, I saw one video about it, and I didn't really understand what was going on, but Bally's Tropicana opened a pop-up casino at the stadium site. It's open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And unfortunately, I only had like a couple bucks on me, $2 to $5, something like that. So tomorrow, I think maybe tomorrow afternoon, we'll take a walk down there and try out the little pop-up casino. It's only there for like 2 more days, or something like that. So tomorrow, and I think Thursday might be the last day that it's going to be there. So maybe we'll go down there and try our luck at the pop-up casino. I don't know, maybe 25, 50 bucks. I'm not a huge gambler, so. Yeah, it's like a little construction trailer, and they just have like, I don't know, Murakami, you saw it. What do they have? About 25 machines, 30 machines in there, it looked like. No table games or nothing, just like a couple slot machines, like mostly old style, 3-reel. So that should be fun and interesting. Well, well, what's up, Mr. Rob? Welcome back. I feel like this escalator goes really, really fast. Oh, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. I think they did the pop-up. I think Murakami, what were you saying? That to keep a gaming license, they have to operate a casino or do a pop-up or something like that. So I think that's why they did the pop-up. Little New York, New York. It's not as windy. It's still a little bit windy. It's more of like a light breeze right now. Receive, oh wow, look at that. If you scan that barcode, if you're out here, scan the barcode at New York, New York, you get a pint for $1 at Tom's. Yeah, New York, New York, beautiful at night. It's one of my favorites. Let's zoom you out a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. They don't have an actual building. They do pop-ups to keep their gaming license. That is very interesting. I did not know that. We're always learning here on this channel. I wonder if they have any bands on the Brooklyn Bridge tonight. Go check that out. You've seen it done before, nice. Yeah, I just assumed that, like, you know, as long as you were paying for the gaming license, you had a certain amount of time maybe, you know, that it was good for 2 years, 3 years, and then you had to reapply. Wow, that's a really nice picture right there. If you guys want to grab a screenshot of that. That just screams America, fuck yeah, right? What was that? What was that movie? What was that, Team USA or what? You guys remember it was like they were like little puppets or something like that. It's like years and years ago. Just when I was looking up at the Statue of Liberty and the flags, that popped in my head. Yeah, it was like called like Team America or something like that. Birdman, really? I did not know that. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. Yeah, no bands tonight on the Brooklyn Bridge. Maybe it's only on the weekends until the summer gets here. But like I was saying earlier, you know, outside New York, it's a great spot to just kind of chill if you're really not looking for like crazy crowds and things like that. You know, they have all these benches. It's really set up outside of New York to kind of make you feel like you're in like a park in New York City, right? So when we get up here between New York, and Park MGM, that area is actually called the Park, and that's a really great spot to kind of chill out. That's where Hello Kitty, my favorite coffee on the south end of the strip, is. So we just went from no people outside of Excalibur and the Luxor area to some people here. And the more north you go on the strip, the more crowded it'll get until you get up around Treasure Island, Venetian. And then it's not too busy. Although the other night when we were at Fontainebleau for dinner with our friend, we ate at that Asian restaurant, Q. We saw a lot of people walking up around that way. Yes, Hello Kitty is awesome. That's great coffee. I'm really waiting for the Hello Kitty in Caesars Forum shops to open up. That's still not open yet. I walked past there today and it's still not open. Do I believe the Luxor is haunted? I mean, there's definitely an eerie feeling when you go inside the Luxor. You got it, Murakami. You know, there's definitely an eerie feeling when you're in there. I don't know if it's just the lighting or what, but maybe, possibly it could be haunted. I'm not opposed to thinking that ghosts and stuff exist. How was the food? The food was phenomenal, Chi-Town girl. It was really good. So I got this Korean fried chicken that had a chili butter sauce. And I was actually thinking about asking for extra sauce on the side just to dip more, because the sauce was so good. We got some kind of baked cauliflower. That was really good. That was in a wasabi sauce. And then like a big rice bowl, vegetarian rice bowl. That was delicious too. So yeah, definitely you'll have to try it. I would recommend it, definitely. And you know, I'm not really a foodie, but like it just tasted so good. Like I can't describe like the flavors, the hint of this and the hint of that, but it was just like one of those foods that were really good. Very flavorful, which I really like. All right. Should we get a Hello Kitty coffee? It's inside Fontainebleau. It's called Q. It's like, I think it's spelled like K-Y-A or something like that, but it's pronounced Q. So yeah, let's get ourselves a Hello Kitty. Is Who open 24/7? The restaurant? No, I think they probably closed around 10 or something like that. You know what, I think that they're looking, I think they may be closing up for the night. So let's go somewhere else for our coffee. I hear her cleaning the espresso machine. I don't want to ask her. I'll get it tomorrow. We'll get Hello Kitty tomorrow. Definitely on the agenda for tomorrow. Mark that down, Hello Kitty coffee. Just bling, what's going on? So this is the park area that I was telling you guys about. This is where everybody goes for the Golden Night pre-games, before the concerts at T-Mobile Arena. This pathway here takes you right up to the entrance at T-Mobile Arena. All right. No, I think that's like a nice thing to do, right? I mean, I don't want to, like, they're cleaning up for the night. It's a little bit late. I think they close at like 9. I'm not going to ask them to dirty up a machine just for one more coffee if they're pretty much done already, you know. That wouldn't be cool. I used to work in food service. I know how it is, you know. So Hello Kitty is like, it's like a cartoon, like children's books by the San Remo corporation, I guess. They have everything now. They got clothing. They got, originally started with books, cartoons. Now they have their little pop-up shops, right? Or these little coffee shops and cafes. So here we are. This is Bliss. This is a statue here in the park. This is beautiful at night. It's beautiful during the day, but at night it's all lit up with these LED lights. All right, Rob, you have a great night, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for putting the review on Facebook. I appreciate it. Oh, that was Alan. Sorry about that, Alan. I saw Rob, yeah, so. Alan, I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. I was busy trying to remember some stuff about Bliss here. So the sky looks really cool, all with the overcast and the haze. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to rain or not. It is Chi-Town Girl. So the story with it too, right? So that's supposed to be about women empowerment. There's a whole placard there. We have a video about it somewhere on our page too. If it wasn't so dark and hard to read the actual plaque, I'd read it to you right now, but I don't have my flashlight. Yeah, like I said in the beginning of the stream, we are at a 20% chance of rain, which pretty much in Vegas means it's not going to rain, but who knows? We possibly could get some rain on this walk, and that would be cool. Beer house and their signs. Your bracket busted, rehydrate with beer. Oh, that would get us in trouble on the other one. They might say we were promoting stuff. Let's see what the other one is. Because they usually have two different signs, one on each side of it. Now, Beer House does have some really good, they do have some good food and stuff. How many brackets made it to the Final Four? I don't know. Anyone seen any stats on that? How many brackets are still alive? I should ask my kids later. They're all into that stuff. So. All right, let's head up. We'll head up north on the strip a little bit more. Thanks to Duke, yours is over. Now, do you buy into any of the conspiracy theories that Duke kind of threw that game? I've seen a couple people saying, oh, it was fixed. I don't think so. I think they just made a mistake and tried to move the ball when they should have probably just inbound it and took the foul. But, you know, I think when you do that, right, and you're up by 2, you take that foul and you miss the first foul shot or the second foul shot, you give the other team a chance to tie it with the 3, right? So I understand, like, the whole let's try to run it a little bit and get some more time off the clock so they can't set up, right? Because 10 seconds, right? So think about it. At 10 seconds, if they would have immediately fouled, that would have gave the other team, like, you know, 9-point-some seconds, you know, after the foul shot to do whatever, right? So, I don't know. I don't think it was intentional. Like I said, I think it was just like, you know, they should have took that foul, you know, held the ball right at half court and not tried to make that one pass, that last pass that got tipped, you know? So I just think they made a mistake. You know, I mean, these are college players. They're not like, you know, their basketball IQ is way higher than mine, but, you know, in the heat of the moment and wanting to win, secure a win, sometimes you make a mistake, you know? So, no, I don't believe sports are fixed at all. Not to the extent that people actually believe. Vegas wins no matter who wins or loses, okay? There's a VIC on every single sports bet. So that is what guarantees Vegas makes their money. They actually don't care who wins or loses. They're not gonna lose money on any game, trust me. They take enough that no matter the payout, they're they're winning, right? You know, think about it, right? These are other, oh, we had some pushers here at Italy for the first time I've ever seen pushers at Italy. Look at that, new one. Hey, what's going on? So, we got a new spot to check out for pushers. They were hangry, yeah. I want to get in there and get my food. Now the thing with Italy, right? Great food. It's a little bit pricey, and depending on what you're getting, I think the prices are kind of justified. Depending on what you're getting, the prices are not justified, right? So if you're getting yourself like one of those good Italian sandwiches in there, yeah, $18, $16, whatever it was the last time we saw prices in there. Really not that bad because it is really good Italian lunch meats and cheeses. You're getting yourself a pasta dish. I mean, come on, how much does pasta really cost to make? You know, it's some eggs and flour, you know? So, you know, some things are worth it in there, some things are not. Like, I hardly ever get pasta when I go out to eat. So, all right. All right, guys, here, we got a decision to make here. If I'm looking over, oh, Philly cheesesteak definitely would hit the spot, man. So it's all lit up at In-N-Out. You think we should take a walk over and check it out? So, yeah, definitely check out the one in Chicago and let me know, Murakami, how that is. Yeah, we should take a walk over, maybe look around the wall, right? Yeah, let's do that. So here's the problem, right? This is a problem. So we want to get over to the boulevard, right? Well, there's no crosswalk at that light by Aria, right? And there's no other crosswalk going down the strip. So we either have to go to the pedestrian bridge outside of Park MGM or walk all the way up to the pedestrian bridge outside of Cosmo. So if you find yourself outside the CVS or right by Aria, I think the quickest way to go is back to Park MGM. And we're gonna take that pedestrian bridge over there at Park MGM. There's a reason they get paid to sing and you don't, my man. What are we up to? So we're gonna go check out In-N-Out. I was just looking and I noticed that the lights are on, so I wanna see what it really looks like. So I think that may be good. Sounds like you're just mad that the Patriots lost. I mean, you know, sometimes teams just have a really bad day. I mean, if you've ever played sports yourself, you know that sometimes you're just off. Joanna, how you doing? There we go. Let's zoom back out a little bit. So yeah, so that is an issue. I really think they need to take make another pedestrian bridge right in the center of, right in the center by Aria and the boulevard there. Right here, Joanna, we saw some pushers right here outside of Italy going through this revolving door right here. There's only 2 of them. They were hangry, we decided. They were hangry. They wanted to get in there and get some food. Either that or they really needed to get in there and gamble a little bit. I'm not sure. All right, everyone, welcome in. If you have subscribed, welcome into the chatters. If you have been chatting, welcome to the chatters. The chatters is what we call our chat here. And that name was picked by our original crew in here based upon a YouTube poll that we did. And it's an epidemic. It is. I understood exactly what you were trying to spell there. And it may be spelled right, but I don't know because I can't spell myself, Joanna. So the LED Hard Rock Cafe LED guitar that they just installed is not lit up. That's going to be really nice when we see that finally lit up. But they took down the classic guitar and they put up this big black LED screen, so that is probably going to be super bright. Walking across here. So yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the chatters, and say hello in the chat. We're a fun bunch here.
She did not.
How many?
So we're gonna walk up here towards the overlook in a minute here. But we're gonna get a nice view of, see that big blacked out spot next to the red towel? That is the guitar. You can kind of see it now. You can see the shape of the guitar there. And that replaced the old classic one. I would assume that the cafe is staying here. Although when I was looking up information on it, it did not have a definite answer. But the Hard Rock Cafe here on the Strip was open when the Hard Rock Hotel was open down off of Harmon, I believe. They kind of were open at the same time. Towards the end of the Hard Rock's stay there before it turned into the Virgin. So, oh, here's a funny one from earlier. So, remember earlier on the live stream I was talking about, you know, getting the copyrights and, you know, whatever, and I've gotten really good at adjusting my mics. Well, apparently when we were in Sweetsin early on in the live stream, one of them, it was kind of loud in there with the music. They had Bruno Mars on. I remember, I was like, man, it's really loud. Good song, but it was kind of loud. Well, that got us a little copyright warning. It doesn't affect my channel or anything. I erased the song off it in the live replay, so it doesn't affect the visibility or anything. But I just thought it was funny how later on we were talking about it and I ended up getting one. So inside these doors right up here, that's where Brewdog is, up on the rooftop there. So you go in there, you take those elevators up, and that is an amazing view of the strip. And we got our new friend Danny. I don't know if he's on, but he lives over there in the East Veer Tower. He was shining his blue lights over at us earlier on the daytime live stream. I'm wondering if we can see over there when we get up top. That was pretty fun. No, it is not as bad as TikTok at all, right? Because that's all I really have to deal with, right? If a showgirl walked in front of me right now, or a bus that is showing an advertisement were to drive down the street, I'm not gonna get restricted, right? You know, if we're walking and accidentally show a slot machine, we're not gonna get our channel taken down for a week when you're on YouTube, right? So how can you show Vegas? How, right? And I started thinking about this back in October when I started to do more live streams on here. I was like, man, how do you show Vegas if you can't show Vegas, right? Disjointed Ramblings. If you go on our live stream replay from earlier today, I actually went in there and took a little quick peek around. And if tomorrow, I think we may go there and play a couple games, throw a couple dollars in there, right? So I started thinking about that, right? Because all the different restrictions that TikTok would put onto your live streams, and you know, how many streamers have we seen midstream get cut and then, you know, well, I got a 3-day ban, I got a, you know, 7-day ban, right? And, you know, you can't even walk through a casino on TikTok, right? Even though they have a program called the TikTok Go program that's like, you know, they're trying to get you to promote and earn a commission if somebody books a room at that hotel, right? So it'll be like, Aria Casino, and you say, hey, look, we're at the Aria Casino, and then they flag your freaking video. So it's a kind of a joke over there, but it does serve a purpose, and there's a lot of great people over there. I wish they would just come over and join us on our live streams here, but hey, you know. Yeah, so we're gonna try to get in there again tomorrow, Disjointed Ramblings. Reverend Rob, you have a good night, my friend. All right, so our new friend, Danny, lives up there. Oh, you see that blue light? That is where he lives. That's what we were looking at earlier. So, that's so cool. Maybe I'll clip this out and let them know. All right, so we're up here. We're gonna walk over and take a peek around. Let's see, you know what, maybe, yeah. So we're gonna go take a peek around at the new In-N-Out burger stand up here. It's not opening yet. There's no official date, but Well, I was trying to look for the official date. I did find a whole lot of really cool, interesting facts about In-N-Out, and I made a little video of 10 really interesting facts that I found really interesting. That's a little short that I got on here about some of the beginnings, some of the stuff that goes into, you know, the branding of In-N-Out burgers. So, Mighty Bull, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? So that In-N-Out hamburgers, no delay, that was like their original marketing before they had the arrow, right? So it doesn't say no delay on there no more, right? So that is like the original one. He invented the drive-through speaker system, right? So now this is their new sign, right? With the arrow. Yeah, the original In-N-Out Burger Shack was only like 10 by 10. It was less than 100 square feet. So let's peek around the wall and see what's going on, how it looks. All right. Let's zoom in a little bit, guys. Can I get it to zoom? There we go. Looks like they got some tables and chairs and stuff in there. Someone said earlier on the video they heard like May to open up, and I think May is a pretty good end of April, beginning of May may be a good guess for when this grand opening is. I'm gonna be super excited about it. Although I probably won't come here for like a week or two until the line dies down a little bit. I think it's gonna be an outrageous line. The first week or two that this place is open, it's probably just going to be an outrageous line in general. It looks like it's going to be really nice. Vonda, how you doing? Chi-Town girl, so the hype is around the burgers, definitely not around the fries. The fries are really not that good. Although if you get the fries animal style, the fries are pretty good. But my theory on why the fries are not good is that their fries are hand cut inside, and we're not used to fresh cut fries with our fast food, right? Our French fries from the other fast food restaurants are usually made in a factory. They've been boiled, they've been fried again, and then once they get delivered to the restaurant and we ordered them, they get fried like a third time. So we're like eating refried fries, basically. So I think that's why people don't really love the In-N-Out fries. Yeah, so this is their flagship location. This is going to be considered their flagship location from what I read, you know. And interestingly enough, Las Vegas was also the first location outside of California. So before it came to Las Vegas in early 90s, I think it was 92, all the In-N-Out burgers were in California. And now they are in, I think, 9 states, all over the West Coast. I think they're looking for New Mexico and Tennessee next. They pick where their locations are going to be based upon like burger factories. So, and all their burgers are pretty, it's pretty much ran like a well-oiled machine. So listen, guys, I have to go be a human. So give me like a minute, all right? I have to go use the restroom. All right, so we are back. Sorry about that. But had a lot of coffee today. Had to go just pee. But anyway, TMI for you guys, right? But we're back. Now this is where I was saying, right here, that's the entrance to Aria, right? Right there. They need to put a pedestrian bridge right across, because otherwise you got to walk all the way back down to Park MGM down there, or all the way up to the Cosmo Planet Hollywood Bridge. So here we are. Mike, what's going on, buddy? All right. So let's start heading down, head up the strip a little more. I don't know how long I'm going to be live, like I said, because my son is out, doesn't have his driver's license yet, but he's going to get it. And you can imagine my life is going to be so much easier when I have two driving. Maybe eventually they will. So well, that's what he is actually he's looking to purchase, is a Tesla or an EV. We have a Tesla. He's the one that actually kind of talked us into getting a Tesla. And he's been working real hard for about 2 years, and he's a saver, so he pretty much has enough to buy one. So, you know, we'll see. You have an S. I love the Model S, but I didn't want to spend that much money and then be like, I really don't like it, right? So I got a Model 3, and I love the Model 3. I actually do. You know, the Model 3 is like a little bit smaller than the Model S, you know, but no, not my son that doesn't like driving. He actually drives a lot now. He kind of likes driving a lot more than waiting around for me, so. V8 or V10? Murakami, yeah, no, listen, I got my big old pickup truck, so I'm kind of you know, taking my carbon footprint and just kind of equalizing it there, you know what I mean? I tell you what, like when I drive the Tesla a lot, sometimes I forget that I have to actually brake when I have my truck. I'm like, do-do-do-do-do, and I just let off the accelerator, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not slowing down. Yeah, right, Mike, you need like a big old gas guzzler until they get like, although that Dodge Ram EV that they have looks pretty nice. But the Cybertruck, forget it, man. I think that's one of the ugliest vehicles that has ever been produced. So, we'll walk up and see how crowded it is. Maybe we'll walk to like Bellagio and start heading back, because I don't want to end up being too far away from where I parked and him being like, oh, I'm ready to go. So I imagine he'll probably want to leave. He picked up around 10:30, 11-ish. I don't even want to sit in a Cybertruck. I just think they're that ugly, man. I don't know. I almost feel like they were like trolling people, going, how ugly of a vehicle can we make that people will buy? And somebody's like, oh, I know, let's make a almost triangle and see if people will buy it. Ryan, what's going on? Ryan's Pop, what's up? Your son's awesome. Good job raising him. You won a Dodge years ago, nice. I always liked the little Dodge, the Dakota that they had like in the late 90s, you know, like that square model. Like I always liked them and the Chevy S10. As a matter of fact, the Chevy, I owned the Chevy S10 like in '88, right before we moved out here. About a year before we moved out here, I sold it to a guy in the neighborhood who was gonna soup it all up. And man, I loved that truck. Harless, I agree, man. I don't disagree. It's almost like I remember drawing that when I was in, like, you know, first grade or something. Like, oh, draw a futuristic truck. Your first car was a Dodge Charger. Now, Dodge Charger I can get behind, definitely. They're nice. Although the people that drive them nowadays, I mean, they just like zoom all over the place, man. I don't know. Some crazy drivers in them Chargers nowadays. We've got the Luxor beam down there. Mud's gonna be upset. He didn't see the Luxor up close. We weren't that close to it. Robert, what's going on? How you doing? I wonder if they're doing the fountains tonight because of the wind. It's been pretty windy out here tonight. You can start to, I don't know if you guys can hear the wind a little bit. I have my mic pretty shielded, but we still get a little bit of wind. Doing my best. Like I said, I don't think we're gonna get hit with the rain. I think the rain's gonna pass over us and head out to the mountains. And we'll get some rain out on the higher elevations, but it usually doesn't rain that much out here in the valley. And when it does, it pours for about 10-15 minutes, and then we're clear. We get a little monsoon, half a monsoon. So we'll go and check it out tonight. So, trying to think. The other night, we had some fun with the pushers at Bellagio. Maybe we'll check out a fountain show from the Walkway, so we don't get hit up with some copyrights, because that's a hot spot for the copyrights. Not that I really care that much, because I can erase them if they're not too long. But if you get a whole song, you can't really do anything except mute that whole section of video. Yeah, I know, right? The Link parking garage back there next to Harrah's one, that's the one that really gets flooded. And you know that purple line that is around the first floor of the parking garage? That purple line is the high water mark of where it was when it flooded that one time. Now it just, we've been in there and kind of trapped, you know, a couple years ago, there was a pretty good rainstorm that we kind of got caught in. So, all right, the bride-to-be having fun. Hopefully not too much fun, right? What year Dodge Challenger? I like the old ones. I mean, the new ones are nice. They're nice, but the old Dodge Challengers, they were nice. You know, this is another spot when we walk past, we get a lot of have some issues sometimes with the sound. They got to like start lowering the music out here, outside of these places. You know, it's like they're messing with the live streamers. It's like, do us a favor, turn down the music so, you know, we can promote your businesses out here just walking around. PF Chang's, I keep saying this, I really want to check out their breakfast. I don't know how their breakfast is, but it's 8 a.m. to 11, and it's $15 for breakfast at PF Chang's. Anybody ever try it? Because I definitely want to try it. So we got a fountain show going on right now across the street. We can kind of see a little bit of it. We'll see if we make it all the way over for the next one. We'll make it for the next one, definitely. And we'll go up on the Bellagio Walkway Bridge and check that out. So I may actually have to turn down the music, the mic a little bit here, just for a couple minutes until we get to a little bit safer place. So, yeah, I didn't know they had breakfast either until I walked past and was like, oh, that looks good. And I wonder what kind of breakfast it is. So hopefully you guys can hear me pretty well. Just the background noise a lot of times gets picked up, and I don't want to get the channel in trouble. The chances of really getting in trouble, like a copyright strike, is different than just getting the copyright warning or whatever the heck it is. So sometimes it's just better for our reasoning here to turn the mic down. Sound is good, okay. Yeah, as long as you guys can hear me, I don't care so much about the background noise. And, you know, a lot of times I don't really care about getting those strikes if it's just not too many of them. So I already got like 2 today, so I want to limit how many we get on tonight's stream. Zoom in a little bit, I think, better, right? There we go. You guys see the fountains a little better from over here. We're standing right by Cabo Wabo, waiting for the light to turn. We should get the light now, I think. See what kind of crowds we have out here tonight. Yeah, it's pretty windy out tonight. Not as bad as it was this afternoon. This afternoon, it was a lot worse. So tonight, not so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go up. We're gonna go up. It's not as loud up there on the walkway. it's not as loud as it is when we're standing right there on the sidewalk. So we're gonna go up there underneath that Bet MGM sign and see how it is up there. There's actually a really good spot about halfway down also that you get a really good view of the fountains from. So maybe we'll walk down there too. For a second there, when I read you said it's not ad loud, I thought you meant like not as loud as an ad on YouTube sometimes is. Because I know that those ads sometimes are super loud. If you got the volume up on your TV or something, it's like startling. So, so we're gonna go up here. This is a good spot, especially around the time, F1 is out here. So this is a pretty good spot right here to get these. You get a good view from here. You get a nice view of the Strip. You get a nice view of Paris across the street. It's a really good spot, right? If you come up here, it's right at the top of the escalators. I'm gonna flip this around because you can get yourself a pretty good selfie picture too, right? So with all that stuff in the back, you have you and your wife and your family, your friends, whatever. That is a really good spot to get a picture right here. So that's my funny influencer pose right there. Well, we come up here a lot because it gets so crowded down there that sometimes it's not even fun for us to walk through because we're streaming. If I'm not streaming, I have no problem with the crowds. Sometimes just because I'm streaming, it's a little bit hard to get through the crowds, so I'd rather just come up here. All right, so Murakami's guessing Lady Gaga. I'm gonna guess YouTube Beautiful Day. Who else has some guesses on the fountain show? So you can see the guitar up there, right in the center of the screen. That is gonna be massive. That black splotch that's like kind of blocking a little bit of it out, that is Caesar's attempt to block the guitar from the center of the Strip. Caesars, you should have saved your money. It's not gonna work. Well, we're gonna hang here for a couple minutes. The next show should start, what time is it? We got 9:37. The next show should start in about 5 to 8 minutes. Sometimes they're a little early, sometimes they're a little long. So we got a couple minutes. But this is definitely a nice nighttime view. Let's check the crowds. Look at the crowds down there crossing the street. That's the crowds coming from the fountain show, going to see the fountain show. And it's so crowded that there's people actually blocking that one lane. They got parking cones out. Now, you would think that it would be a good idea to maybe make some kind of like permanent overpass there for pedestrians to walk. The Caesar sign is going to be super bright. I mean, it's already bigger than the horseshoe sign, right? So there's the horseshoe sign. Let me get you on there, right? So that's the horseshoe sign. And the other one is right in the center of the screen there, right next to the Caesar sign that you see lit up. And that's almost the same size, and that's like a block away. So it's already looking bigger. So Wow, look at that crowd right there. Let's go over and see. It's like a massive crowd. And they're off. Yeah, anyone want to take a guess at the next fountain song, right? I said U2, Beautiful Day, Murakami. You said Lady Gaga. What's everybody else guessing? I want to thank everyone also who has subscribed tonight. I know at the beginning I was at around 1492, so I'm really hoping that I got like 8, 9 more people and I got over 1,500 subscribers when we get off. And if we do, thank you so much for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up, that like button, share it out to some of your friends. Let's get some more people on here, and I appreciate you guys. Welcome into the chatters, by the way. That is what we call our chat here. So we're a friendly bunch. We like to have fun, so make sure you say hello. Ryan would share. Okay, Bruno or share. I could go for a Bruno one. I've seen the share one a lot lately, so I kind of would rather go with like a Bruno, Lady Gaga, or U2 would be really nice. So yeah, this is a nice little spot. If you just want to beat the crowd and not have to deal with like all the craziness down in front of the fountain or on the side of the fountain, just come up to the walkway here. And I'll zoom in a little bit. I'll put it at 1 time zoom when the show starts. But we're getting some wind up here too. Nice if they trim the trees down like maybe 3 feet. That would be really nice up here. But no, let's not touch the trees at Bellagio. Remember when they removed them for F1, everyone freaks out. You know, they put the Timu trees back, the small trees. So let's leave the ones around the side alone here. Now, there was a rumor that this walkway was going to be demolished and they were going to do like a shopping center, rooftop viewing area for the fountains. That would be cool if they did add a rooftop viewing area for the fountains here, but I don't want this thing to be demolished. And yes, we're getting the Super Bowl again in 2029. I'm super excited for that. That's gonna be awesome. So if you guys are coming out, by the way, if you guys are coming out, anybody's coming out for WrestleMania, or Bruno Mars is opening up his world tour, in the beginning of April, I think April 10th and 11th at Allegiant Stadium. And then we got WrestleMania the following weekend. Anybody coming out for those events? We're coming out to Allegiant anytime soon. It's an awesome stadium. Robert, you're not coming out. I would love to go to the Bruno Mars concert, but it's a little bit pricey, a little above my pay grade right now. Yeah, Caesars is down 70 in the past 5, Wynn in the 20%, right? Well, I would equate that Caesars has, what, about 12 more properties to deal with than Wynn, right? And, you know, that may have something to do with it. Maybe they're a little bit too big, maybe a little too, you know, maybe sometimes being a leaner company is easier to manage your properties. You know, that's one guess for it, right? I mean, I know Caesars does have a lot of operational issues also. And, you know, you're comparing, if you're comparing gaming, yeah, okay. But when you're comparing property, oh, we got the Beatles, that's what it is tonight. We got Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. So, I try to be quiet during these too, by the way, because there's people up here recording that have never seen us before. So I'm just gonna talk a little low if I talk at all. But I probably won't talk. Yeah, it's a lot more quiet up here. We may not get in that much trouble. Yeah, it is super windy up here tonight. I'm actually surprised that they have the fountains going, to be honest with you. Definitely have seen them shut down. The wind is really picking up now, though. Reese, what's going on? The wind keeps drifting my gimbal a little bit. It wants to correct itself. Jason, what's going on? How you doing tonight? All right, so that one's over. That is actually a nice spot. Hopefully it wasn't too loud in the background there. But, so I think comparing Caesars to Wynn and is like kind of comparing, well, you can't even say like Saks Fifth Avenue, right? Because that was a superstore. But they made a couple really stupid deals and now they're going under, right? Them and Nordstrom. So you can't always compare and say, well, this stock's down this much and that stock's down that much, right? But what do you, if they're both in the same market, but one is doing super high end, right? And they don't have as much, as many properties to take care of, right? And Caesars has made a lot of really bad errors lately. So, you know, Wynn actually has like a really nice, good management team that has still stayed with a lot of Steve Wynn's, the way he operated, right? So a lot of these other casinos out here, when they get a new CEO or something, they want to go with like, you know, these new ideas and these new things. And being a big corporation like Caesars or MGM, you have a lot more shareholders and a lot more markets that you're dealing with. And it makes it a lot more complicated than just having a handful of markets, right? Las Vegas, Boston, Macau, right? So, and they're all high-end, super high-end properties, and Caesars really is not. So, you know, it's a lot of older buildings. I mean, the oldest Wynn building is how old? Maybe 20 years old? When did Wynn open? 2006? So you have a lot of different things that's hard to make a really good comparison, right? So you'd really have to sit down and look at how much does it cost to operate, you know? And Caesars when they went bankrupt, they've been a bad corporation for a long time. So remember, in those 5 years ago, after their last bankruptcy or whatever, you know, they were propped up artificially. So losing that 70% is probably more of a correction more than anything. You know what I mean? That's just like kind of my opinion on it. But I'm not like some big stock guy, all right? I'm just giving you like kind of more of a layman's type of why Caesars is as crappy as it is. And I don't even want to say they're crappy because I do like their properties. I do like their, a lot of their properties, you know, but it's just been mismanaged. And companies that continuously go in and out of bankruptcy and restructuring their debt, you know, they're just always holding on, waiting for the next bailout type of thing. You know, we've seen it with a lot of like, you know, Target's having issues now. Kmart, Sears, a lot of these stores that a lot of us older people grew up with that went through all those bankruptcy, restructuring, do this, do that, and then, you know, eventually it catches up with them. And I think Caesars needs to be broken apart and, you know, broken down into like maybe 2 or 3 different operators take over all the properties. That's what I think, you know, and that's how I think that they would maybe survive. So let's see, are we gonna have any pushers here? I don't know if that makes sense or not. Let's see. Oh, we got a bunch of people going in here. Are we gonna get a pusher? No, no. Oh, we got pushers, 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 pushers. Let's see how crowded it is in here. Holy smokes. Jason coming back, 7th yearly. Not a fan of the Strip, staying on Fremont, nice. Nice, nice. Ellis Island is nice. Yeah, like I said, I am not like some kind of like, and I don't portray myself to be some kind of like, hey, let me tell you all about casino financials, right? Because there is a whole lot that goes into casino financials that is really hard to understand, you know? You know, I know what I know, and I know that I think that they'll be okay. Somebody will come and buy a property or two here or there, and if they have to break them down, that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's easy to just read a report from a Wall Street Journal or a newspaper, and you know, if you don't really understand what those numbers all mean, then, and you believe the person telling you, they may be giving you a slant that isn't absolutely correct. So always be careful, fact check, double check, you know what I mean? Read a couple articles, you know, and remember, all these corporations, MGM, Caesars, whoever is owned and publicly traded, they have shareholders and they have rules that they have to follow. So we're second to them. The shareholders are number one and will always be number one. So if that means raising the room rates, that means raising the room rates so that their shareholders make the money. That means charging more for parking. That's what they'll do. Unfortunately, that is what happens when big corporations own the casinos and not private corporations. And then, you know, back in the early 2000s, late 90s, there were like a dozen or so casino operators out here. And that's when you had all these great room rates and, you know, great comp systems and stuff like that, right? But the competition went away. And a lot of people don't even talk about this, right? They just want to talk about how much they screwed us over, right? But really, they're doing exactly what the system is designed to do. If there's no competition in the system can just do what it wants to do until the system collapses on itself. And that's what we're seeing, right? Somewhat of a pullback of tourism for multiple reasons, not just because they're pissed off at the casinos, but an overall feeling of, you know what, like, I'm not gonna go 3, 4, 5 times a year no more, right? Because first of all, I can't afford it because the resort fees actually cost me a trip, right? What I pay in resort fees cost me a trip to Vegas. So a lot of people are, you know, getting their gambling fix at a local casino, but coming to Vegas once or twice a year for their Vegas fix, because it's a difference, right? The casinos, they used to buy out airplane seats and give you a package deal. They don't do that no more, right? And I tell you, like, it's a lack of competition. They used to, when it was Circus, when it was MGM, and MGM only had 1 or 2 properties, and Wynn had the Mirage Corporation, and they were all competing for the same customer. Now, MGM's not competing. New York, Excalibur, Bellagio, they're all owned by the same person. So as long as they're doing good as a whole, then it's okay. So this is the one part that a lot of people don't get, right? The Bruno Mars Rose Memorial here. I mean, I think it's a really cool piece of art, but I really don't understand how it goes with the rest of this. I had a conversation with one of y'all the other night about that. And I do know that they did some kind of Bruno Mars pop-up event, and that was used. So I guess they probably figured, hey man, we got this probably $25,000 Bruno Mars piece of artwork. Why don't we just use it in the spring display? That's what I think happened. So, all right. I do like these Easter eggs and all. Fabergé eggs, right? It is a decent crowd in here tonight. Tony Jazz, what's going on? It's raining in Santa Monica. We got a 20% chance of rain tonight. I don't think we're really going to get any. So we'll see though. My favorite though is the blue egg right there, the one that's opened up with the roses on the inside. I just really love how that's lit underneath. All right, to the other side. So did my little rant about the casinos make any sense to any of y'all? I mean, I talk about it, but I don't make it a main piece of my live streams or my content, right? Because there's so many factors that go in, and sometimes it's just, you're talking to people that just want to say, make comparisons or say things that really don't have a bearing, or they're not taking the big picture in, right? So, you know, the same people that when you tell them February was an up month, the first up month that we had in over a year, they still don't want to believe it. So, you know, it's hard to have discussions with people because those discussions then turn into arguments, and we don't really like to argue on here, right? We just really kind of like to have adult grown-up conversations. And normally, once I start talking about the rest of those numbers and things like that, those people jump off because they're really just regurgitating what some other content person said. Sorry about that. Somebody bumped me and I missed my thing. So yeah, so I mean, we're down to, and I hate to always say it's corporate greed, because I don't really know if it's corporate greed, because the system has been designed to reward that kind of behavior. So, you know, Wall Street, the movie in the 80s, was a foreshadowing, you know, to greed is good, right? And that's what kind of got everybody's view. And 401ks, right? Everybody's retirement being attached to a 401k has made the stock market a lot more important than I think it really should be, you know? Because now everybody's looking at, well, I need this to be good so that I can retire. And with that, that means that companies, instead of tightening their belt and everything, means layoffs and stuff like that. But let's kind of stop talking about all this stuff right now and get back to Vegas. So yes, Aroma Retail, thank you Mark, for putting that up. If you guys have a favorite scent of a resort in Las Vegas, me and Jay are Aroma Retail affiliates, and they have all the different scents of all the different hotels out here. So go to their website, follow that link, type in Neon City for 20% off your order. My favorite scent is Vdara and Mandalay Bay. So I don't know what everybody else's favorite scent is, but those two are the two that I enjoy walking into those properties the most. So let's go. Oh, pushers. We got more pushers. Pushing again. So let's go back this way. No, if you stop pushing, you can get out. Let's see, we're gonna walk through. Hopefully we don't get any pushers. It's like, no, the doors aren't broken. The doors are working exactly as they're designed. That sign that says no pushing, you just pushed, so it stopped. All right, we're gonna start walking back south. I just got a text message from my son saying around 10:45, 11, he'd like to get picked up. So we gotta walk all the way back down to the south end of the strip. And so let's start that walk. I wanna thank all of you for walking with me tonight. We walked earlier today. We did a nice little walk. Went a lot of nice places. We are at, oh, let me get that back up there. So we are at 24,000 steps. I don't know if you can really see that. 24.4. for the step count today. So what do we got? Oh, that escalator's not working, so we're gonna stay ground level. This side of the Bellagio pathway doesn't get as crowded as the other side where the fountain is. So this is another good way to walk if you're trying to beat the crowd a little bit. I could have took the back way, but you know what? We've been taking the back way. I like to leave the back way for the hot days, right? This way we can, you guys all know about the back ways, right? We can get from Bellagio all the way down to Park MGM and only go outside for like a short, like what's it, like 2 or 3 minutes that we're walking outside from Bellagio to Park MGM. I got to do a better video on that one. I have one, but it's more of an ambient walk, kind of just like relaxing walk. I should do one that's a little bit more. Jorge, what's going on? The only song I'll sing for you is that CeeLo song. You know which one I'm talking about, buddy. So, everyone say hello to George. He is one of my best friends in real life, in actual real life. So when he comes on here and starts to be a little bit trolly, that doesn't mean that you guys can all be trolly. That's just what George does. He likes to annoy people. He's kind of like one of those people that if you don't know him, you don't like him. And most people that do know him don't like him either, but I do. No, George is a great dude. I know that guy. He's pushing the stroller, making car sounds because the kid's like ready for bed. I've been there. It's the famous Mr. George. I promised him, I told him, I said, George, I'm gonna get people to like you. So I think he tries his best to get people not to like him. Nah. So, yeah, so are you guys familiar with that pathway I was just talking about? Like you can get from Bellagio all the way down, Park MGM. We actually did a walk on one of our live streams where we walked from Mandalay Bay all the way up to the conservatory. And it was, you can make that walk if you utilize the trams and time it right. You can make that in about 35 minutes. The Astro from space, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome in. Nice. Where are you going to be staying? Are you a strip person or are you a Fremont or off strip? I think if I was coming from out of town and I was driving, I would probably stay off strip. Maybe at like Red Rock or the Durango. Strip, nice. He's famously infamous. How's that, Murakami? Famously infamous. Here's the Cosmo. So I have another video if you guys check it out. There's steps at the end of the Cosmo, and oh yeah, Summerlin. That is George. You want the fun, nice. So I think staying on the strip and going up to Fremont one night or something is really fun. I've never stayed on Fremont. I enjoy Fremont, but I don't know if I would enjoy staying on Fremont for 3 or 4 days. Because, you know, it's just a little bit more compacted, and I feel like it's always the same thing. At least if you're on the strip for 3 or 4 days, you can be like, all right, tonight we're doing the South Strip. Tomorrow we'll do the North Strip. And it's just more spread out, you know what I mean? But Fremont is definitely at least a 1 night, maybe 2 night, depending, right? So at the end of the Cosmo here are the steps. I got a video. I don't take those steps no more. I'll show you guys, but go watch the video anyway. I could use the views. So we're gonna go in Cosmo at the Chandelier Bar. you make a right and go up the escalator, and it takes you right out onto the pedestrian path without having to walk up them steps. Because when it's 100 degrees out or more, 1010, you're really not going to be wanting to walk steps. And this will bring you into the air conditioning, right up the escalator, right out the doors, and you can continue south over to Aria. So, and it does smell really good in Cosmo too. That's another good scent, the Cosmo. So if you want your house to smell like your favorite resort, go check out those Aroma Retail links that Murakami dropped a little bit ago, and check it out. So milk. I used to love Milk Bar here for their coffee. They got quite a line here. Now their desserts are really, really, really good, but their coffee has really gone downhill. I used to recommend that coffee all the time, not so much anymore. Now there's a new coffee shop right here on the corner. It's an Illy Coffee, and they have really good coffee, but the guy in there was a little bit rude to me one night, so I really don't like to go back in there. You know, maybe he was having a bad night, I don't know. But the coffee's really good. The customer service wasn't that great. So, but that's right there. So by going that way, we avoid the steps over here that everybody's walking up right now. Huffing and puffing, going up the steps. So if they would have just went in the doors right there in the center, they could have just went right up the escalator and avoided these steps, right? All right, so on the agenda for tomorrow's live stream, which will be an afternoon live stream, I have stuff to do in the morning. My weekday mornings, Tuesday and Wednesday, which are my days off, I have been kind of busy the past couple weeks to really get out and do our early morning walks. So I'm doing afternoon tomorrow, probably around 2-ish, I think. Have I ever been on the Rocky Steps? Yeah, man, I've ran up them Rocky Steps a million times. I used to not live too far from the Art Museum in Philly. We would take our kids there. You can go sledding down them steps. So these steps here, right? These are another set of steps that everybody goes down, right? Don't go down them steps. The shops at Crystal's, the pathway is open 24/7. The downstairs area closes, I think, at 9 o'clock. So we may get a little bit glitchy walking through here, but I really don't feel like doing steps. So we're gonna just kind of walk through here, and this will bring us out. So remember them steps I just showed you, right? So you gotta walk around the front, stay on the strip. Well, if you skip them steps and walk through here, it's gonna take you to the same spot. I got a video on it, and if you do happen to take those steps down, there are other ways to get to that walkway, pedestrian walkway, to cross over without taking the steps. So you can go watch the video and find out how to do that. And they do have the new garden set up down there. But give me a second, I gotta set you guys down for a second. I gotta fix something. There's the new garden area down there. Let's go. Has anyone ever eaten in Ocean Club right there? Or Ocean, is that Ocean One, Ocean Club, Maestro? So we're gonna hurry up and walk through here. Now, kind of right on top of us, I don't know if you can hear me, but right on top of us, a little to the right, is the Veer Towers. So we're gonna come right out here. All right, here we go. All right, are we good now? We glitched. Did we glitch at all in there at all? I think we did. We must have froze for a second. Did we freeze for a second while we were in there? Because we just dropped a bunch of viewers. But anyway, so if you take those steps that were on the other side, those steps will bring you right to here, right? So then you have to walk up the steps to cross the street. And when it's 10:10, which is the official temperature of NeonCityWalkers, you really don't want to be walking up. It did a bit, okay. Like I said, I'm pushing 30,000 steps or 25,000 steps. What am I pushing? I'm pushing a lot of steps today. Almost 26,000 steps. I did almost 30,000 steps yesterday. I'm starting to, my legs are getting a little bit tired, so I didn't want to take any more stairs, right? So,
Would you like to donate?
I'm sorry, man, I can't do it right now. Ah, yes, I did forget to get coffee. Jeez, how'd I do that? All right, so that's on the agenda tomorrow. I need to write this down, right? Hello Kitty coffee tomorrow. We're gonna stop at the Bally's Casino. Joey, what's going on? Thank you for subscribing. Everyone say hello to Joy. So tomorrow, Hello Kitty coffee. The pop-up casino at Bally's. Tropicana, the new A's stadium. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna actually put some money in a machine and see how good this little pop-up spot is, right? And then I don't know what else we're gonna do. What else is on the agenda? What time's Italy open till? 10 or 11? Because we might just stop in Italy and grab a coffee if they're still open right now. All right, some good walking music right there. So Perry's Pizza right here next to Whataburger. Perry's Pizza has a slice and a beer for 10 bucks. $5 pints, happy hour, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6, all day Sunday, right? But I think those specials are all day. The slice and a beer, all day special and a $5 pint. So maybe I'll stop and get a slice tomorrow. I'll forego the pint since I don't drink, but you know, that's a really good, you know, I don't think Whataburger has coffee at night. I think we stopped there one time and they didn't have it at night. And I had their coffee in the morning. It's really not that good. So it's almost as terrible as Terrible's coffee. Terrible's is the gas station out here and their coffee lives up to the name. They have like really good deals on everything else, but I don't know. I probably shouldn't drink coffee. So when me and my son, we were leaving, I grabbed a drink out of the refrigerator. I thought I grabbed a seltzer water. I didn't even look. We got in the car, I opened it up, took my first sip and realized it was a Monster energy drink. I don't drink those, but I did. And let's see, I had this sweet sin coffee and I had about 7 shots of espresso today at home. I've been experimenting with some different syrups, so I don't know. But I still could use a coffee because I still had to go drive and get my son and stuff. So Maybe we'll go in Italy and see if the coffee shop's still open there. Next got the Lavazza coffee, which I like better than Illy coffee. It's a little bit more robust. Oh, there's so much great stuff to do here, Joy. We were having a lot, you know, we had a lot of fun today just walking around. You know, that's what we do here on this channel. We just kind of walk around on the strip and see, and people watch and stop and get coffee and just chit chat, right? We're gonna have to stop here one morning too, right? That looks pretty good. That'll have to be an early stream. And tonight we found a spot with some new pushers. Now this is Park MGM. Park MGM is 100% smoke-free. Nope, the area around the coffee is shut down. So that must shut down at 10 o'clock. So, all right, looks like it's gonna be gas station coffee for Jimmy tonight on the way to get my son. Nah, not that big of a deal. So, I don't know, I think this was a pretty fun stream tonight. We, you know, I haven't really done like a double stream like this where I've done like almost 2 hours on 2 streams in the same day in a while. But my voice is starting to get a little crackly and hoarse. My throat's hurting a little bit. So, so we still got a little bits to go. We got to go all the way down to Excalibur. And Excalibur really doesn't have anywhere to get like grab a coffee this time of night. So I'm not sure. I'm just gonna stop gas station coffee, Murakami. There's a couple gas stations. I think there's a Maverick on the way to where I gotta go. So maybe I'll just stop at Maverick. They got pretty decent coffee for gas station coffee. That's more of like a convenience store, I guess. It's that Maverick's more along the line of like Wawa in Philly. So we'll just do that. And I'll tell you, the nighttime streams are so much easier than on my battery and my device here because it's not as hot, right? Stephs, what's going on? Yeah, we're double shifting tonight. So we're almost done this shift now. When we get down here at the end of New York, I think I'm gonna end the live stream right before we get to Excalibur. So that's where we started at tonight. So it's almost like making a nice loop. Saw one fountain show, that was pretty cool. So, oh, 3 more likes and we got 100 likes. Can we get 100 likes? Let's go for the 100 likes. And I'm hoping I got the 6 to 8 subscribers on this one. So I live stream on Prism Live, so it doesn't really give me like a count on when I'm getting subscribers or anything like that. Dodgers won, Phillies won too, Stephs. We'll have to have a Dodgers Phillies NLCS. That would be nice. Robert's a Blue Jay. Oh, oh, we're up to 103. Thank you guys so much. They're not getting that 3-peat. They're not gonna get that. Shake Shack it. That would be a good name, Joe. That would be a good name. I like that. I'm sure Shake Shack, the burger place, would probably sue right away, though. if a strip club opened up with that name. Well, that would be a great name. Yeah, Kyle and Bryce, I really like them. I'm a little bit disappointed that the Phillies traded Nick Castellino to the Padres. Any team but the Dodgers. Hey, if you're from San Francisco, you got to get them. You got to get them Giants to get a little better, man. So, listen, I went to San Francisco last year for the Giants Phillies series, and let me tell you, man, I hadn't been to San Francisco in probably about 25 years, right? Maybe even longer. It was probably 99 when I was in San Francisco. Yeah, so it was probably 25 years, and I forgot how cold it was. We went in the middle of July, and it was like they're serving hot chocolate at the freaking baseball game. I was like freezing. I had to go buy a sweatshirt because, you know, I'm in Vegas where it was like, we're leaving, it was like 118 degrees, and I get to freaking San Francisco and it was like 50 degrees, man. So yeah, that was like that was like a 70-degree swing in temperature. I mean, I was freezing ass cold. Jay went out and bought, like, seriously, two sweatshirts for me on that trip. That was a great trip because I was there with my family. Yeah, the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco, right? There's no truer saying than that. You know, our good friend, he's mostly on TikTok, Spin. He's from that area, and he was laughing at me when that happened. But yeah, always check. Yeah, ha 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 ha, Americami. That is something that we tell everybody on here all the time. And what did I do? I did not check the weather forecast before I went traveling. You know I love when you guys do that. You call me out on my my mess ups. I'm sure Toronto, it probably is cold in Toronto in the stadium for a while, right? I mean, I don't know how I used to do Philly. Well, Philly gets really hot and humid come June, July. August is like hell if you dump the water on it with all the humidity. So, but I am much more of a dry heat type of person anymore. Dry desert heat. Give me like, I'm good up until we hit around like 112, 115 really pushes it. But like 105 to 110 is really like my favorite temperatures. The triple digits, but not hell hot, you know what I mean? San Francisco Stadium is beautiful. It is. I have to admit that. And Carl Schwarber, actually, I think, is he the first opposing team player to hit it into the bay there? Because I remember he hit it into the bay, and it was like a big deal that he hit a home run into the bay. But that's pretty cool that they get the kayakers and stuff out there. So that was an actually really fun trip. It didn't start out that great because the night before we were leaving, our car broke down, totally took a shit. Our Prius, that was it. It was already on its last leg. And so I ended up having to rent a car. And then on the way back, the rent-a-car, a truck tire blew, took out the front end of the rent-a-car. Yeah, it was a mess. That whole trip was a mess. But it was fun. It was a great time. So Bonds used to do it. Okay. Yeah, that's a great stadium. It's a really great city. I do like the city of San Francisco. I love how the public transportation's free, game of the day of the game, and all that stuff. So, but here we are at Excalibur, and I am going to end the live right now. So let me flip this around and say goodnight to you guys. I don't flip the camera around a whole lot during the live streams because you guys don't want to see me. You guys want to see Vegas, right? So I just like to do it a little in the beginning, maybe once in a while in the middle, and at the end. So thanks for joining us tonight, and we will be out tomorrow afternoon, probably around 2 o'clock. And like I said, we're going to get some Hello Kitty coffee, and we're going to go over to the Popup Casino that we walked through today. So thank you all you new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the chatters, everyone who made this a fun, interesting live stream. See you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.